Hey guys, welcome back to P.A.N. Podcast About Nothing. I'm joined by these two lovely, beautiful human beings, Dumb and Dumber. Uh, sorry, it's a term of endearment. It's a term of endearment. I mean it out of love, so that makes it okay, right?
I guess. I guess.
Yeah. See, we're all in the same consensus. That's good. You might be thinking to yourself, these guys they're wearing the exact same thing that they were in the Alcoholic Antics Part 1 episode. We may or may not have ended that recording and then started a new recording. But whatever you guys don't know won't hurt you. So we're here nonetheless. And this episode, we still have two possible MVP candidates sitting right before us, or even a most valuable host determined solely upon if these guys' stories are really bad or not. But we, since we may or may not have started recording this episode after the last one, we don't really have much else new to talk about. So we're just going to get right into it. I think who started first last episode? Was it you, Matt?
Yeah, but I can start again. It don't matter. Whatever Alex wants.
Alex, you want to start or you want Matt to start?
I ended last episode, so it would be his turn. Let's have him start.
All right, Matt, you're up on the chopping block first, buddy.
All right, good. Let me go through my endless list of drunk stories and figure out what to choose. All right, I'm gonna have to start this off with one that involves Jesse, and it's titled.
Ooh.
It's just titled Applebee's.
Oh, God. I was wondering if this would be one of them.
So this is like fresh after my divorce. So there's a lot of emotions there. A lot of stuff going on and a lot of changes. And I had this bright idea to get with Jesse and then Alex, which is not you, but the other Alex.
Different Alex.
And then we were going to go to Applebee's. And the whole plan was to just go to Applebee's and have a couple beers. And it was going to be a good time. And it was a good time. It was a good time. It turned into something way more than just a couple beers. So I was actually going to drive to Applebee's. Luckily, I just ended up riding with Alex, and we all ended up riding with Alex. So Alex ended up being the DD. And we go to Applebee's, and Alex said he knew it was going to be bad because he took a couple sips out of his beer and he looked over and mine was gone.
Oh no.
And these were tall boys, mind you. So like, and I don't drink.
Yeah, we were getting Stein after Stein. And I was trying to play catch up with Matt this whole evening.
So I didn't even really pay that close of attention, but Jesse was like, I'm not letting him outdo me. So
that always works out.
So I'm just hammering down beers, and we're talking with this waitress, and she was like, she was a good waitress. She was great. And for some reason, like, we're just hammering down beers. I'm drunk as hell. I'm emotional. It's rough out here. And there's this girl at Applebee's that she's the one that got away, I guess.
Oh no.
Oh no, it was terrible. Like literally when we're there, it's just honestly fucked. I don't even really remember much of it besides the fact that she was like the only girl there that had a red shirt on. And I was like, I went up to the waitress came up to me and she's talking and I'm like, hey, I'm like trying to be cool too. Like, I don't know why I was like trying to like spit game with the waitress. I was like, hey, I'm like doing the face and like the talk and like the lean and stuff. I'm like, hey, I'm like, who's that girl over there in the red? And she's like, oh, it's so and so. And I'm like, I'm like, well, I literally said this. It's so cringe. I said, well, she's mad cute. I do remember that specifically. and
Wow.
and the waitress must have thought like I was this super old man, which I was a lot older than her. But the waitress goes, "Do you know how old she is?" And I'm like, she's probably like 21, 22." And the waitress is like, "She's 19." and then my drunk ass still proceeded to say, I'm only 26.
Oh my god, no.
And so basically, I mean, I had no shame. I was drunk. It didn't matter to me whatsoever what the fuck I said. And basically I ended it at that. I realized like, okay, like I kind of got some sense in my head. I was like, what are you doing? You're dumb. You're dumb. What are you doing?
I just want to add that she
Oh, my Lord.
was a really really good waitress.
She was
And
great.
yeah, she would check on us periodically for the like 6 hours that we were there.
We were there for like 4 hours. We went there for
Yeah.
a couple beers. We weren't even sitting at the bar. We were just kind of like in the table around the bar, and so like
Yeah.
we weren't. She was just bringing us beers constantly.
She said, "You guys having another one?" And that was what that's all I remember hearing like 4 or 5 times that night.
We were so drunk that she was like actually concerned with us because she was like, "You guys aren't driving, right?" And we're like, "No, he's our DD." And she's like, "Okay," because she was gonna.
This picture right here was taken that night, and if you can't see there, I was holding his belly,
Yeah.
and he had his arm around me, and for some reason, I took that, and it was like it was the cutest thing ever. When I got home and I woke up the next day, Chris was like, "You guys look like a married couple. Why are you holding his belly, and why is his arm around you?" And I just remember that was also the same night where I went before anyone to the bathroom, and I was in one of the stalls, and I noticed like probably 10 minutes into my my activities on the toilet that there was no toilet paper. So I had to do like a shuffle once everyone vacated the room over to the next stall, and also found that it was out of toilet paper. So I was calling and texting them from the stall, letting them know that I was down bad in the stall. I was like stranded in there, all while this guy was, Matt's over here flaking over a, he has the hard eyes for his 19-year-old waitress, and he's like, "I'm only 26. It's fine."
It's fine. It's fine. It's just a
Oh
number.
my Lord.
I mean,
Just
that
a
was
7-year age gap,
I mean, it really wasn't as dramatic as it sounds. Like, I literally, I said stuff to the guys. I was like, "Man, she's really cute," and then I was stupid enough to say something to the waitress.
Yeah, I don't think at any point when he was talking to me or Alex that we said go for it. I think we just let him do his own thing.
I was just so drunk, and the waitress was really cool. She was like talking to us and shit. She was real good. I think I just got too comfortable with the waitress. I'm just like, yo, she's super cute. Like,
yeah, he was very content.
She's mad cute.
Yeah, she was mad cute.
Yeah, girl, she's mad flaming over there, bros.
Yeah, she mad cute. I'm
That's
not gonna
literally,
lie.
that's literally what I was doing. Yeah, I was doing the lip biting and shit. It was bad.
I was just trying to enjoy my beer, and Alex was like, "Oh boy."
Oh yeah. Well, then it ended up, so we went back to Jesse's to drop Jesse off. Jesse goes to the bathroom, and I'm just sitting there on the couch, and it's me, Alex, and LaCrista. We're just kind of talking, and I'm listening to Jesse just vomiting in the toilet. And I was like, "LaCrista, you might want to go check on him. He's puking." And then I went, "I'm gonna puke. Where do you want me to puke?" And she's like, in the trash can. And your guys' trash can was in a pitch black closet, bro. I literally went in there. I threw the lid on the floor, puked in the fucking trash can inside of a fucking closet, and then I was like, I felt bad, so I was like, "Don't worry, LaCrista, I'll take this out. And so I took their trash out that night because I felt so bad. And then I went back to Alex's house because he went and took me there, and I had to like do the call of shame to my dad. I called my dad and I was like, "Hey, could you come pick me up? I got way too drunk."
Now, my question is, was that the night that we were all planning on getting on Warzone?
No, that's another story. I can actually just go right into that one. I'll just go into that one. I'll do two. So there was,
That's fine.
so there was another night that I talked to a guy at work, and he was like, "Hey," he's like, "Man," he's like, "I really like getting drunk and playing video games," and I was like, "I've never been drunk and played a video game." I'm like, "That sounds like a great idea," and so I get a hold of that. Not you, Alex, the other Alex. And then I get a hold of Jesse, and I'm like, "Hey," so we make plans. Like we end up like scheduling it. We make sure we're all off, and we're going to get drunk and we're going to play Warzone. And that was the plan. And this was like in prime Warzone, like prime time, baby. Like we were excited. We're going to like just drink enough to get drunk, go back home, and then play. That was the plan. And I don't have it on this phone. I have it on my other iPhone that's not charged right now. But I have a picture of me holding my phone up, and Jesse's just dead on the concrete, laying in his own vomit. So we were just gonna drink very slightly, and we all three got so drunk that we couldn't even fucking stand. And there was one point, so if I can't say it, just edit this out afterward. But and I'll talk to Alex about it first. But Alex's parents were getting a divorce, and so I'm not going to go into any details about that. But they were getting a divorce, and like his dad wasn't living at the house for a while, and I ended up at one point walking behind his like garage to take a piss, and I stubbed my fucking toe on some landscaping, like behind the garage. There was like a block, and I literally, my whole sandal and toe was fucking bloody. And I remember hitting my toe and falling on the ground, and I was like, "Fuck you, Bill, you son of a bitch." And I remember just yelling at his dad, who's not lived there like over a year. And I was like, "I know he put that fucking block right there. He did that on purpose." I'm literally laughing, and I got tears going down my face, fucking crying, laying on the floor.
I remember vividly like drifting in and out of consciousness on the concrete in the patio. And I looked over, I saw you laying there cursing Bill's name. And I looked over, I was like, this. I just closed my eyes again. Alex was over there trying to console Matt and his dire needs, screaming bloody murder, and I'm just over here laying next to my pool of vomit.
Yeah, and so like I'll have to show the picture at some point, but there's a great picture of me like cheesing like ear to ear, and then Jesse's just like this on his side with his fucking eyes closed, and you just see the wet mark where he had like puked, and he's just laying there. And I remember sending pictures to people and was like, "We were supposed to play Warzone after this, but I don't think it's going to happen." And so I still had hope because I kind of like, I thought I was sobering up. And so at this point we were like, all right, we weren't even there that long, to be honest, but we just drank so much. So like, I think if I remember correctly, I think LaCrista came and picked you and I up, and then she like dropped me off at the house. Because I was kind of like on the way to your guys' house. So LaCrista dropped me off at home. And then I remember like starting my PC up and stuff. And I remember like being in the third bedroom, which is like the farthest bedroom away from the bathroom. And so me and Alex were both playing, and we went on Shipment because that was when they did like the Shipment special. So I'm sitting there, and then Alex is just watching me, and I'm not moving. my guy is just like standing still because I could not move. And then I finally just grabbed my headset and chucked it against the fucking wall. And I ran to the third bedroom, ran to the bathroom, puked my guts up. And then I went back on. I didn't even give Alex a chance to fucking respond. I just said, "Hey, I'm getting off," and I just shut everything off.
I remember everyone asking me if I was going to hop on with you guys, and I had planned to, but when we got back, she, I think she had to work that night when she worked overnights, and I had sat on the couch, and they were calling and texting me, asking me if I was going to hop on, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll be on there in a minute." And I like laid my head back because I was getting nauseous, and I laid down, and then when I woke up, it was like 11 a.m. And Alex had Snapchatted me and was like, "Well, I guess you weren't getting on." And he had a bunch of laughing emojis, and I was like, "That was never an option."
That's not an option. I tried so hard to get on, and I couldn't do anything.
That was rough. I think that was one of the first times I had drank with you guys, like for real.
If I remember right, I remember hearing this story through Jesse's point of view in terms of like during all this was going on, Jesse was telling me that he was gonna go drink with you guys, and if I remember right, I had my stuff at home, and he was saying like, "Oh yeah, I'll probably be on Warzone at some point. I'll probably gonna be playing with them for a little while, but maybe eventually like you can hop on later on too." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll see. It just depends on time." And like whenever you guys get back, whatever. And he was snapping me throughout the night at certain intervals, and each one was just getting more delirious than the next. And it was so I had to play like the imitation game just to decipher what he was even saying. And
oh my god!
By the end of it, I was just like, "Hey, are you hopping on?" And then I did not get a text until maybe 1 p.m. the next day. I'm like, "Huh, he must have gone to bed." Okay.
Yeah, no, I was a goner.
No, we couldn't even make it to bed. That's how bad it was, and all that stemmed from like so those literally those two stories right there was literally supposed to just be, we're just gonna have a couple beers, and I think that's just the famous last words of everybody. And we'll just have a couple beers. We'll just have a couple beers, and then we'll go do something, and it never ends up that way. Oh fuck!
Oh man,
yeah, that was terrible.
That was a bad one.
Well, I have a story, and this was, I want to say, one of the first times, if not the first time, I actually got completely drunk out of my mind. And once again, it was me, Jesse, and I think it was about like 5 of our friends at the time. I can't tell you who all was there, to be honest. And I remember we were playing a different card game, Screw Your Neighbor. And pretty much, just simply put, it's like war with a few different twists. And Jesse kept losing, but we all started the game with 1 shot each, and Jesse kept losing every single round. And then the other 2 or 3 people, they maybe had 4 shots total each, maybe. Some of them probably had 2. I escaped the entirety of the game, where we went through the entirety of the deck several times. And I went through the entire game without taking a single shot. I only took a single shot at the very beginning. So Jesse, he is shit-faced and pissed. So he gets up, stammers over to the fridge, yanks the door open, and he pulls out a bottle of mango-flavored rum.
Oh, God.
And he goes, "Alex," just tells me, "Alex, you're drinking this." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're doing 9 double shots of this."
You were trying to kill the man.
And
It's attempted
goes-
murder.
It was at his own pace.
No, it wasn't. Because I asked, I'm like, so do you want me to do 9 double shots throughout the night, within the next 2 hours? Like, how long do you guys? Like, no. Back to back.
Back
And
to back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
it was awful. He had a double shot glass that said sexy on it. It was pink with glitter. I remember it clearly. It was about yay big.
Oh, God.
I forgot about
and then
that.
it came back out, and it said sexy on it. And I remember having to fill it to the brim with every single shot. And
I just feel like you said you had to. Like, did he have you at gunpoint? He's like, you do it, you son of a bitch.
This is one of the first times, because like I had drank with him before, but like nowhere near this level. And he had always been like the "I love you, bro" type of drunk. This time
God.
he had this look of hell in his eye, like he was pissed. He was angry after losing every single, because he kept screaming, "Come the fuck on!" after every time he would lose.
I wish I was there.
He was pissed,
Yeah,
which is why like he was not happy, and he is just like pouring each one for me. And around the 5th shot, I was beginning to feel the effects of like dry heaving or like just feeling a little bit bad. I had the worst idea in the world, and I said, "Hey, do you have another double shot? I'll line them up. That way I could try to get this done faster." So I set up 2, and dude, I almost threw up all over his mom's apartment. Like, I almost threw up everywhere, but I didn't. I held my gut. I held everything in. I didn't need a trash bag, nothing. And finally, I get him in the 9 double shots, and there was just about a shot's worth left in the bottle. And he goes, "Drink that too."
God, you're a cocksucker.
So that night, I had drank at least 20 shots within God knows how long. Was maybe within about like an hour and a half, I think. And I think that was the same night that we ended up, you said, playing video games while drunk. And I think that was the same night.
We were playing COD 4 split screen multiplayer.
Yes,
and we had ragdoll and like headshots only on. So it was the dumbest nightmarish bullshit you could ever. It was so much stimulation for drunk people. There's 4 drunk guys and one screen with so much going on it, and it was so much.
I was uncontrollably laughing just watching, because I could not get a headshot to save my life. I think I got last with maybe 2 kills, and I just remember watching my body fly all across the freaking map, every which way, just losing my mind, and then all the alcohol just set in at once.
Oh, God.
And all the lights, all the gunshots, everything had just started to hit me all at once. I was like, oh no, this is not good. I need to stop playing now.
This shit's pissing me off.
It was horrible.
You think with Matt's big head, it would be able to stay in focus?
I hate this fucking camera. I don't know what's going on. This fucking piece of shit camera. I can't with this piece of shit. For those of you that's not watching the goddamn video,
yeah, you're lucky.
We're having some.
Imagine what you see when you first wake up, and you're rubbing your eyes after waking up from a 6, 7, 8 hour sleep, and it's all blurry.
Bro,
it's all blurry, and that is the Matthew Walden camera point of view experience, right?
There's fucking nothing I can do about it. I don't know what to do. This piece of shit's pissing me off. I'm gonna have to get a new fucking camera. Gotta get a new motherfucking camera.
The autofocus on that camera is literally it's gone Helen Keller mode.
It's just taking a fucking shit. I think
hold your finger in front of it.
Yeah.
It's got like close range, but that's it. Oh wait,
are you filming with a microscope? Like what the fuck?
I got one of those lab microscopes.
You have to have your hand like right here for it to see anything.
Oh, it cleared up. Good God.
Yeah, for now. I looked over it just like 95% of the way through Alex's story, and Matt just, it was like someone went like this number right here. And anyone who sees that, I just saw an M pop up where his videos were at. I was like, he turned his camera off.
Oh
and
my
it came
God.
back and it looked just as bad.
I'm fucking crying, bro. I'm literally crying because this fucking camera.
It has such a big target. How is it not focused?
I don't know. It has no idea where I'm at. I don't understand. There's nothing else here. This piece of garbage. All right, so
to bring it back a little bit, there was another time, and I think there was nothing in particular with what we were drinking or what the occasion was. To be honest, it was just a Friday night. We got the gang together, all that, and we're just going shot for shot, playing whatever game, I don't remember, but all I remember is we were just drunk. We drank so much that we were quite literally falling all over the place, just banging into the floor pretty much from just us crawling around. And
I remember my mom made fajitas that night.
Yes. And Jesse, he gets sick and he runs straight to the toilet. And he makes it, no problem, no nothing. But then out of nowhere, everything gets silent, and he just screams, "There's a legit pube in here!" into the bowl.
Dude, I was leaning over the toilet like this. I was trying to go over. And I was like, there's a legit pube in here. And it was like right in front of my face, like right here on the rim of the toilet. And it was making me that much more sick because my face was close to it. And I remember exclaiming that. And everyone came like around the corner. And was this the one where who was it? Matt and Shep? Were they there?
Yes.
I think one was teaching the other how to ride a bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like a father-son deal. I remember it was like a war movie. Like I was delirious and pacing in and out, and my ears were ringing from purging the alcohol out of my system. I was leaning over the toilet, avoiding the one stray pube on the rim. And I look over, and I don't remember who was riding the bike, but
I think it was Shep.
I think Shep was riding the bike, and Matt was like riding, like he wasn't riding, but he was walking with him, trying to keep him up and stable as Shep was riding this bike throughout the apartment in our giant living room. And he was like, "There you go, son, you're getting it. I'm going to let go now." And I was just laying here like this. I was here, "I'm going to let go now." And then they're just going around the couch and the end tables and everything, and going back towards the kitchen. And I remember distinctly like hearing my mom in the bedroom with the door shut cough, and my plan was to shut the bathroom door, but I know I didn't do that. It's because I thought about it for so long that it made me sick, and I continued to purge the alcohol out of my stomach, and I was puking there. I was in the bathroom for a good like 30 minutes.
Good Lord. Oh,
it was awful. It was downright terrible.
That sounds pretty rough.
I think on a continuation. Sorry, Matt. This one just popped into my mind. I think a continuation with that story though is I think eventually I ended up blacking out, and it was explained to me later on that whenever I blacked out, I apparently called off of Matt's phone, not this Matt, of course, but off of another Matt's phone to talk to his girlfriend. And to this day, none of us knew what the fuck that conversation was about. I was on the phone with her for 15 minutes. No, I asked him, I asked her. I do not know what we were talking about. And we sobered up. Well, I woke up, so to speak, and we're going into Jesse's bedroom. And I lay down on the floor. Just a pillow beneath me, like beneath my head. And I'm just laying there. And I hear the refrigerator door open. So I thought Matt went over to the refrigerator to go get himself a water or something. So I'm just laying there, my eyes are closed because the room is just spinning. I'm like, Matt, get me a water. And he's like, no, fuck you. Matt, I need you to get me a water. Please, I'm begging you. He's like, get it yourself. I'm not getting you a freaking water. I'm like, Matt, I'm not kidding. I need a water now, please. No, go get it your own damn self. So I just sat there, just stared off into the freaking... Bear in mind, Matt was never at the refrigerator. It was Jesse's mom. And Matt was actually sitting beside me, maybe 3 feet away. And I just sat there, laying with the pillow again underneath my head. I just said, "Oh well," and I threw up this sheer color of black all over Jesse's floor.
Ugh.
It's disgusting.
That's
Rancid. We just sprinkled some stuff on it for the night.
That's
I slept
We had some comment on standby. We had some comment.
We had
some
some
barkeeper's friend. You just sprinkle that on there.
That's so gross.
No.
Oh, it was awful. I later on had to clean it. I had to clean it the next morning, and Comet did not work.
Oh god.
It's gross.
It was awful.
Well, to continue with the gross, I got a story. I have it titled. It's called "The Fart Heard Round the World."
Oh god.
So this is like one of my first times ever drinking. And I had my friend and his girlfriend or fiance wife. They're married now. I can't remember what they was then because it was a long, long time ago. But this was like my first time ever drinking. And I didn't even really drink. I literally got pretty much just drunk off of Jell-O shots. Because he made this like huge fucking, like he just made it in a bowl, like just homemade, just fucking mixed it all together in a big ass like popcorn bowl, and so there's this huge giant bowl, and like we didn't even make Jell-O shots. I just remember literally like having a spoon and just diving into this big thing of just Jell-O.
That's terrible.
It was
so
terrible.
It wasn't even a Jell-O shot. It was like a bowl of Jell-O that somehow just had alcohol in it.
And it literally tasted. I mean, it tasted nothing but like vodka. Like it was.
Oh no!
It was like mainly vodka with like a hint of Jell-O, just enough to make it Jell-O. Like that's all it was.
Ooh.
It was rough. And so I'm eating it, and I'm like, oh, I'm not even drunk. I don't even feel anything. And so I just kept fucking eating it, and then it just all hit me. And I mean, I was drunk for like 5-6 hours off this shit. Like it all hit me at once, and I was fucking hammered. Like I don't remember much about the night. I remember at one point I was crying. I don't know why I was crying. I think at one point,
an emotional roller coaster.
I think at one point, like I was sad and I was crying. I was mad at one point, but then there's a video of it floating around somewhere. I don't want it to ever resurface, so I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, you started off that really wrong because now someone's going to be out there knowing that they have a video.
Someone's going to listen to it and be like, I think I have that video. And so they're recording me, and I'm just sitting on the floor, leaning up against the couch, and they're just recording me just drunk, just kind of like leaning over, just talking, just acting a fucking fool. And at one point, I said something funny, and I went, ha 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 ha. And as I went, ha 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 ha, in between every ha, I farted.
So it was like this number going on right here.
It was literally like that.
The offbeat.
Oh my gosh.
It was like a 10-second fart, and then I realized I was farting, so it made me fart more and laugh harder. It was fucking terrible. Everybody was laughing. Everyone was crying. It was, oh my God. It was fucking terrible. But that was pretty much it on that night. Like, I don't really remember anything else besides, I just farted, and it was terrible. It was funny as hell to be there. But I do got another story. I'm gonna jump into another one.
Go ahead.
I got the wasted keg. Is the title of this one. So I go through, and this was at this was at my first house I had. So this was, that tells you how long ago it was. It was a very long time ago. And my dad, he worked at Devers at the time, and they're no longer in business. But he worked there, and so I kind of had the hookup on like getting a keg. I still had to pay for it and everything, but like I had the inside source, And so I invite like 20, 30 people, and like everyone is saying, "Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there." But everybody did. And I was like, "Cool, cool."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, let's get this keg." So I get this big ass keg. Like I have the whole thing. I got a dispenser. I got everything. I'm loaded up. I'm ready to go. And literally the fucking day of, I had like 15 people just all say, "Nope, I can't make it. I had something come up. We're not going to be there." And so by the end of it, it was literally 4 fucking people that came. And
my
I got
God.
and I have a full fucking keg, and there's 4 people. And so the 4 people, we decide, let's go to Pizza Hut before we start drinking. Because at this point, it was a big fail. No one was showing up. We already knew we weren't going through the keg. And so we go to Pizza Hut. We're like, we're hungry. Let's just go to dinner. We'll come back. We'll like play beer pong. We'll drink some beer. Like we'll do the best we can on the keg. And we all ate Pizza Hut. And me and the other guy, I think we got food poisoning because we both ate Pizza Hut. And then we came back to the house, and I drank 1 beer, and I puked everything of Pizza Hut up. And he drank 1 beer, and he puked everything up too. And it took me like 2 years before I went back to Pizza Hut after that. It really fucked me up.
You guys probably got some bad pepperonis.
There was something bad in it, but that one's not exciting. But it was really sucked.
Well, I mean, do you think it possibly like the beer was not stored properly or something, or do you think it was for sure the Pizza Hut?
No, it was definitely the Pizza Hut. Like
because usually a grease like that will make it easier or help with the alcohol. So
it was literally
have
the
some
Pizza
bad ingredients. That's why you should have went to Papa John's because they have better ingredients.
Well, we both left Pizza Hut and we were complaining that we were like so bloated and our like stomachs hurt already before we even started drinking. And so like it had nothing to do with the beer. Like I don't even think I actually finished my first beer before I puked. I drank like half of it. It had nothing to do with the beer besides it was literally just all the Pizza Hut. It was fucking terrible. And so like after that, since we both puked and then we still felt like shit from the Pizza Hut, it was just like I think we all drank like maybe 2-3 beers, and my dad came to pick the keg up and he goes, "It's still full." And I'm like, "No shit, I have no friends. Nobody showed up." I'm like, I had like 20 people. Like it was guaranteed 20 people. I don't really remember the number, but it was supposed to be like 20 people show up, and everybody bailed last minute. Because I definitely
probably for the best for them because I mean they would have 20 people would have gotten food poisoning.
No shit. I mean, we wouldn't have went out to eat. We kind of fucked us because the only reason
Oh,
we went out
yeah.
to eat, the only reason we went out to eat was because nobody was showing up. So we were just like, fuck it, let's just go eat. And then it was
It's like,
bad.
well, we're already here.
Yeah, yeah, it was terrible. So,
Oh boy.
no.
I remember you said Jello shots, and it reminded me of the fact that I've seen them. I've never once had them. And the first time I ever came across one, I think I was, I want to say I was 12. It was like my uncle's, I think it was like one of his birthday parties. And my uncle, he knows how to party. He knows how to get a huge party going. I mean, his turnouts are amazing too.
Well, I really needed
Love him
him
to
when
death.
I had the cake.
Yes.
I love him to death. Well, he made some Jello shots, and I had no idea what Jello shots were. All I see is Jello in cups in a freezer. So I'm like, ooh, and I reached out for him because I'm like, ooh, Jello. I'm a kid, and my dad, he just bang smacks my hand down as hard as he could. I'm like, what was that one for? It's like, that's not for you, Alex. No, that's not for you. I'm like, all right, fine. I don't know what that was for, but fine. We walk inside, and there's a big the entire dinner table is full of desserts, and it's specifically only vanilla and chocolate. And it said the chocolate ones were adult only, and I didn't read the sign because once again I'm a kid and I see chocolate cupcakes, so I'm gonna reach for the chocolate cupcakes. And once again, my dad smacks the same freaking hand even harder that time. I'm like, am I just not allowed to eat anything today, Dad? I mean, what's going on? What is wrong? And he's like, Alex, these were made with alcohol. These were baked with alcohol, and those were Jello shots. They have alcohol in them. You can't have that. I'm like, oh, all right, that's fine. Out of nowhere, my dad he kind of like walks off. I'm trying to find my brothers, something like that, and some woman who I still do not remember in terms of I don't think I've ever seen her ever again in my life.
It's a ghost.
She walks up to me.
Yeah.
She walks up to me and kneels down. And she's like, "Hey, I don't mean to scare you or anything like that, but those cupcakes and everything, like those cookies, those chocolate ones, you can have them. Trust me. There's barely any alcohol in there, and it all gets baked out anyway. You'll be fine. Here, you can eat the cupcake." And I just looked at her up and down. I'm just like, I don't know you, and just fucking ran. I was like,
that's really
I
creepy.
did not trust that.
Was this like a whole was this supposed to be like a family thing, or is this just like a stranger?
It was so it was someone that my uncle and it was probably like a friend of my uncle's, like my aunt. It was probably like a friend of my aunt. Maybe I genuinely can't even remember who it was, to be perfectly honest. And I think if I remember right, it was his birthday. And he, like I said, they invite everybody, massive turnouts. And
Lord.
so it could have been someone. They live off in Cloverdale, so I don't know everyone that's out there and everything. So she might have known me, but I definitely did not know her. So I did not trust that lady. I just ran.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably the best thing. So God.
To this day, I still have yet to try a Jello shot. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself.
I'm I don't know. It's Jello shots are like okay, but it's just the sugar alcohol thing is never mixed well with my stomach, so I've always stayed clear of them.
Yeah. If sugar doesn't do good for you, they're not good. Like you almost get like a stomach ache before you actually get drunk. Like it just kind of depends. But
yeah, it's just like a solid version of wine coolers.
Yeah, that's actually very true. So I have a 21st birthday. So a story for my 21st birthday. So I go to Show Me's, and this, I mean, I had drank like, I've never drank before my 21st.
None of us have. Never.
Yeah.
No.
So I had very little experience drinking going into my 21st. And so this was, I mean, really one of the main times I started drinking. And I go there and they bring out this huge giant fish bowl because that's what Show Me's does. And I think like afterward they said the fish bowls are like almost equivalent to like 4 shots, kind of. Just kind of depends. And so I drink this like giant fish bowl, and then I'm like, then the shots start. And so I'm just sitting at this table with like my parents and my girlfriend and like a couple buddies, and like, I mean, it was like a table like 10 people, and everyone's buying me shots. I ended up like having a couple people that I knew came in just randomly, and like they bought me shots. And by the end of it, I had drank it was like 15 shots, 16 shots plus the fish bowl. And so I was gone. I don't remember anything after like doing that, but the one thing I do remember is they had a shot there called the Redheaded Slut. And I've always had like a thing for redheads. So it was like I have to get this shot. And so me and my dad do this shot together. And I remember just vividly like taking this shot with my dad. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing a redheaded slut with my dad. Just screaming.
Oh,
Probably everybody there was just like, this guy's a fucking weirdo.
That was one of the greatest out of context moments in your life, I'm sure.
It was absolutely like it was fucking terrible. Like I was so gone that because I would never say that ever or ever get excited about saying that. But I was just screaming how funny I thought it was that I was doing a redheaded slut with my dad, and it was one of my low moments. And then apparently, like on the way home, there was like people walking around like down the street, and apparently I'm like hanging my head out the window, like yelling at them. So I actually got basically put in timeout. Because
oh my gosh.
They had to roll the window. They left them down just in case I puked, and then they had to roll it back up because I got put in timeout. I wasn't allowed to.
Because you kept screaming at people?
Yeah, I just kept screaming at people. It was awful. And then this is my last story. I don't have any more after this. Like I probably do, but I don't. So this was my bachelor party story, and it was like a cheap bachelor party. Like we didn't go nowhere. We just decided to like stay at like, cause I had like a 2-car garage. So it was like pretty big. So I basically had all the groomsmen and the best man. They all just came over. We were just going to drink. So like we had a bunch of beer, a bunch of drinks, all kinds of stuff. We were going to play beer pong, and it ended up like it was going great. Everything was going good. Lots of funny pictures. It was like hotter than fuck though. Like I remember like all the guys just taking their shirts off because we were just dripping sweat. It was just so fucking hot out there.
You should have turned it into a toga party.
A toga party. That's what we should have done.
Toga.
That's what you guys tried doing with prom.
But somebody like ended up at one point like fell into my water heater and broke a piece off. And then by like the end of the night, this is just like the funny part of it is like there was a guy sleeping on my couch, and I remember he said he was going to puke. And so I run over there with the trash can, and like I put it by the couch, and I'm rubbing his back as he's puking, and I'm like, "You're gonna be okay, man. Like you're gonna be all right." And as he's puking, I look up, and one of my other buddies, Brandon, he's sitting at the table, and he's eating a bowl of cereal, watching him puke. And he was actually
you need to get.
He was
you need
actually
to get a
the
hold
one.
of that man. That is a psychopath.
I remember he was the one that actually told me he was getting ready to puke. He's like, "Hey man," and he's just like, "Hey man, he's getting ready to puke. You might want to help him." And
So nonchalant.
The whole time he was puking, Brandon is just scarfing down cereal. That was just one of the most memorable moments from my bachelor party. It was just the fact that he had the stomach to watch this man puke and then eat cereal at the same time. It's just, there's no way. Like, it was bad enough for me to, like, rub his back and, like, try to console him.
Oh my gosh.
But this guy was just chugging down cereal. But he's a big cereal guy, but there's just no way I'm eating cereal. Watching this guy puke.
He's a big cereal guy and a big watch other people puke while they eat guy.
He's clearly got a strong stomach. That's all
kudos
I know.
to him.
But that was it. I ain't got no more. I don't have any more.
Now, you got anything else? You got anything else to bring to the table to share with the class?
I have one more, if not. I think I have one more. I'm going to leave the names out of this just because of the fact that I don't really talk to these people anymore. I was hanging out with some people who I only really knew one of them. She was a friend of mine at the time. I didn't really know the others, though. And we were supposed to arrange like this big old drinking party, just the four of us. And it was going to be at my friend's house, and that's what I was told anyway. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. And we all get a list together. She goes out and buys it. Bing, bang, boom. Specifically for me, I had a gallon of Jack Daniels, pretty much.
What is wrong with you guys in these gallons? Like, that is a bad
bulk, brother.
That is a bad
bulk.
Buy in bulk. That means you're gonna drink in bulk. Like, that's
exactly.
Yes, sir.
Every time that I've drank out of a gallon of Fireball or something, it has never ended good for me. It's not a good thing.
It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to end good.
It's not a good thing to do.
If you buy a bottle that has alcohol in it and it has a handle, it's not going to end good for you. There's no other way.
No.
I remember... No, I don't really remember that much anyway of this story, but I remember I had a McDonald's cup with maybe like a large McDonald's cup with maybe this much Coke in it. Or actually, no, it was Pepsi. It was Pepsi with that much, and I just poured the rest of this large cup full of Jack Daniels. So it was pretty much a splash of Pepsi with Jack.
You wait a minute. You just cannot be talking about Pepsi in a Coca-Cola shirt.
Merchandise, baby. Anyway.
I just noticed that. Like, that's against the rules, I think.
Yeah, that's some like heretic stuff right there.
Do you work for Coca-Cola?
No, but neither of them sponsor us, so we're gonna have to filter out Pepsi, and we're gonna have to blur out your shirt and my hat.
Yeah, I was about to say, he says the man with Carhartt written on his forehead.
we're blurring all this shit out.
Anyway, I remember I ended up drinking like a third, if not a little bit more, out of the Jack Daniels, and I had other shots of everything else that they had brought. Bear in mind, it was not inside the house, it was inside a shed where we were all drinking. And it was in the middle of like February or something like that. It was in the middle of winter, and I was freezing. We were supposed to stay the night in this shed, which, to be fair, wasn't like dirty or anything like that, but there was an AC unit, or with a thermostat and everything, but we couldn't get the heater part to work. So for hours, I had pretty much I couldn't tell from the alcohol or from the cold if I had lost feelings in my fingers because of which of the two.
Oh, God.
And it got to a point where I was just terribly freezing, wrapped up in like two comforters, just freaking out. I thought I was gonna die. I was genuinely panicking.
You should have drank more alcohol to stay warm.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
straight
gonna
to blood
kill you.
veins. Let's get it. Yeah,
Yeah, let's get it.
we're gonna beat the cold with science.
I ended up waking up. I ended up waking up with far more blankets than I went to bed with, and just somehow miraculously the heater was working. I was like, "Oh, all right, that's awesome! I'm not gonna die of hypothermia. That's great." And then I just passed out. I don't
Did
know
you pee
why.
yourself?
No. Surprisingly, I did
Damn.
have to pee out in the cold though.
Should have
and
peed
that
to
was
stay
miserable.
Yeah, I would have peed for survival instincts there.
warm.
I drained the snake before I went to bed, and that was the worst idea because I was desperate. I was genuinely thinking, man, if I had to pee, I would just pee my pants right now just to keep. But then again, I mean, it's just gonna refreeze and just get your legs that much colder.
Pee won't freeze.
Oh my god! You
Well,
said
not freeze, but you know
Hold
what I
on,
mean.
hold on for a second.
What?
Look up. What's the freezing temp of urine?
Oh my
I
gosh!
imagine it's the same as water.
Negative 120 degrees Celsius.
Well, they- So,
What's that
what?
Fahrenheit?
there's two small stories that his just reminded me of. It has nothing to do with drinking, but he said drain the snake, and I remember in high school I used to get along with this teacher really well, and she was like my English teacher, and I remember I had asked to go use the restroom, and I told her that I needed to go drain the main vein, um, and I almost got fucking detention because of it. She
Oh my
was
God.
she was so pissed that I said that. I was like,
Wow.
I'm so sorry. But
I just want to add real quick that the freezing temperature is negative 184 degrees Fahrenheit for urine.
oh my gosh.
How?
Isn't that nuts? I
That is
thought it would have been.
absolutely wild.
Dude, it is like I refuse to freeze. That is crazy. I didn't
It's
think
like
it was
a-
that low. I was like, well,
Just-
what's negative 120 degrees Celsius? I don't care about Celsius. I care about Fahrenheit. This is America. And I
Just-
look over here. I'm like, holy shit! It's 184 negative. What the fuck?
That's wild.
Oh my gosh! You can go to Neptune and pee, and then it'll turn into ice. But otherwise, I mean, it's staying liquid.
Yeah, but then to touch on the
Oh, I
Coke.
found it.
Oh, okay, you go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I just found out why. The greater the salt and impurity concentration, pretty much, is what the reasoning for it is.
Oh,
So
interesting.
the more salt in your urine, the lower the temperature it has to be. So if you have like a relatively pure pee, I guess, then it'll freeze just like regular water.
Science here at P.A.N.
I mean, you're gonna have
Science
you're gonna have
here at
salt.
P.A.N.
Alex is incorrect because salt's going to have pee in it no matter what because you have to filter the sodium out of your body. So there will always be salt in your pee. So it's not
Right,
going to
but
be like water. It's always going to be lower than water.
What I mean is like it's going to be closer to.
Yeah, but you said just like water. It's not going to be just like water.
Okay, fair. Then it's going to
It'll
be
probably be
closer
50 degrees
to.
below that, I'll be honest with you, because it's going to have sodium and iron in it at all times.
Okay.
Arguing with the
Yeesh.
host is going to not help the MVP. But to touch on the Coke and Pepsi thing, there was a wild story. It's not really that wild, but I thought it was wild. So what's the water that Coke does? What's the water? Is it Dasani? That's Coke.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's
Product?
Dasani.
Yeah. So there was a Pepsi vendor that I had talked to a few times, and he had I got kind of close with him, and I remember him saying that he had a meeting at Pepsi, and so he went there, and he was just it's going to be a meeting, so he brought a bottle of water, and he had bought a bottle of Dasani water because that's what he always drinks, and he walked in there and put it on the desk, and one of the higher ups grabbed it and got pissed and threw it in the trash, and then put Aquafina right in front of him, was like, "You don't come in here with Coke products. You only use Pepsi here."
That's messed up.
was like, man, way to start the meeting off right. I could walk in there with a fucking Coke product. They were pissed.
All right, Alex, you're visibly confused. You're pissing me off. What's going on?
Sorry, I had a weird, important text that I actually have to answer here in a little while. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
I guess I'll pop up and it's a
It's
personal
okay.
matter.
We're
I
nearing the end of the
apologize.
episode. Right? Everyone, I think, has gotten their best out of the way. We're
Yep.
coming up on, we're over an hour now, so now it's as good a time as any. Do you guys have anything to add at all?
no, sir.
I believe that I will not win based off of Matt's hilarious stories compared to my lackluster stories, if you will.
I wouldn't say they were lackluster. I would just say I beat you as far as quantity goes. I don't know about quality, but
Yeah.
I had a lot more of a quantity of stories, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
So yeah, I'm just gonna come right out and say that Matt for both of these episodes will come away with the MVP trophy. In my brain, unanimously, without a doubt. Solely for the fact because the first episode was a lot more stiff. This episode, it was very obvious because you didn't pee yourself for survival.
Let's just get mad at you for survival instincts now.
And B, you argue with me over the pee.
It actually doesn't matter because Jesse's the host and he can just pick whoever he wants, just like anybody. I mean, we could just pick whoever we want. It doesn't even have to make sense. He could basically
Are
just
you
say,
admitting that it's rigged?
I'm not saying it's rigged.
If anything, it would be rigged against him in everyone else's favor because he just now, today, started getting MVP nominations.
Yeah, I was.
If anything, it's been rigged against Matt.
Yeah,
It's like what Impractical Jokers. Matt's the big
Well,
loser.
just
He's
like
been
that,
the big
I'm now
loser
in
for 3
last.
weeks.
Oh yeah, well just like that, you're now the big loser. We switched. I was the big
Alex is tonight's big loser.
So hold on here.
Oh, could we do that if maybe every 6 months we do something like whoever is in last place on the loser, they gotta go do something super embarrassing.
No.
Oh come on, that'd be really funny.
No.
Hold on.
Unless it was me, then it wouldn't be funny, and we shouldn't do it.
So me and Matt both have 2 MVPs, and now Alex is in bottom with 1. Okay, I gotta document this.
Well, I know out of our huge fan base, there's people keeping track of this.
Hey, we just reached 100 listeners. Probably over 100 now.
Yeah, no, we're in triple digits. We're good to go. Next thing you know, we'll be in quadruple digits, and then, and whatever's after that. Because I don't.
We have
math.
113 listeners on our podcast now. Only 28 followers. So that's why I'm saying everyone's got to follow this freaking podcast.
But to clarify, listeners means basically repeat listeners. It's not just somebody that stumbled upon our podcast and watched one and was like, "Oh, this sucks." It's basically people that's listened to multiple episodes, so they're devoted.
Yeah, technically our audience size is half that with 48. So if we could get our actual audience up to 100 within the next month or 2, that would be awesome. But that's where everyone needs to follow this and share it and
here
tell
very
people
soon
about it.
And here very soon, we're gonna have TikToks coming out. We're gonna have a YouTube channel. We're gonna have the whole shebang, and we'll have links like that all over the place, and we'll have ways for everybody to follow those pages.
Yeah, Alex, and Matt here,
soon.
we're gonna be shebanging every week.
We're gonna be shebanging. What's that? Instead of sham wow, it's shebang.
Shebang. Hey guys, you gonna hop on here so we can shebang for about an hour and a half?
I hate all of that.
Oh my god, this is what's gonna get us canceled. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I watched the P.A.N. podcast. They were shebanging for an hour and a half. It was crazy.
Well, as long as we operate underneath the explicit tag, we're fine. We're safe. If we ever go non-explicit, we'll be taken down quick as anything. So, on that note, Alex, you're the big, giant, stinky poo-poo head loser. What do you think? What do you think? Following this now first complete circuit of hosts, you stinky poo-poo head.
You went straight.
Yes.
You went straight like my child's insults. You're a poop head.
Hey, freaking poop nose. What you got to say about it, you big poopy doo-doo head?
Well, all I want to say is this. So far, this journey has been one hell of a ride, and I truly hope that more and more listeners keep on coming in and tune in and listen to us three idiots just banter with each other back and forth and just make fun of each other and just ultimately insult me the most. And in doing so, just say that I'm a big poo-poo head.
It's really this podcast is two big idiots and one giant big poo-poo head.
Yep. With that being said, Matt, once again, I am happy that you won for this week, and I will do my best to do better for the upcoming weeks.
I absolutely hate that you like give me props. I want it to be so hostile here, and he's actually just being extremely nice, and it ruins my win when he's nice.
Alex, you gotta start being petty, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be petty.
So you want me to be a sore loser?
Yeah, that's part of the big stinky poo-poo head, nose, stupid head rhetoric.
Yeah,
Can I say one last thing then?
Yeah, please.
Are you a big stupid poo-poo
Matt,
head?
you're dog shit, and you did not deserve anything that you fucking have right now. You goddamn loser. Get the fuck off of this platform. You don't deserve this fucking win. That win should be mine. You deserve no fucking...
He's over here like, you piece of shit. Your camera don't even work right.
Yeah, get a better camera, you
He
fuck.
wasn't even present for the whole podcast, and he still won.
You look like a fucking cloud, you fucking hazy ass bitch.
Hey, all right, we're going too far now. Now you're just hurting my feelings.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
I think both of you are equally ugly.
You graciously won, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I just want to say that the better alcoholic won. I deserved every bit of this by, lots of homework, lots of remembering, trying to prevent Alzheimer's by remembering this stuff. I think this podcast is actually going to be good. It's actually better than like Sudoku, I think, because the amount of brain strain, I'm going to say brain strain, that it took me to remember some of these stories that happened, years and years and years ago, I think is going to definitely help our brain functions here.
And, I mean, because in all reality, this is big, like one giant AA meeting, really.
Yeah.
You should have been like, "Hi, I'm Jesse.
I am Matt, and we're all here today for AA. What is
Except
that?
It's not anonymous. It's just A.
That's just Alcoholics announcement, actually. We're just announcing it. It's not Alcoholics Anonymous.
Alcoholic announcement, here to bring you the latest news of how much of a drunk we are.
I don't have much of a speech. I think Alex did great. He did good. I think we all did great. Episodes turned out good. Or the podcast turned out good. And I think we're good. I think it's good now that I've won 2. It's definitely going to blow my head up quite a bit, and it doesn't need to get any bigger.
It already has.
Yeah, I didn't think it could get any bigger, really, to be honest with you.
I'm hoping my head gets big enough to fit my fucking nose. My parents used to... my fucking mom, she lied to me for years. She was like, "Oh, honey, your nose isn't that big. Like, your head will grow into it." And all my nose did was grow the same size as my head. So It's
Matt,
always
real
been
quick, I want you to
disproportionate.
look to your left real quick.
I hate this.
All right, I'm gonna look this way. All right, Matt, stay the way you are. Everyone,
Okay,
get a good look at the get a good look at these noses.
I hate
And
this.
I'm gonna make a poll for this episode. I want everyone to vote who watches this godforsaken podcast to vote on who has the biggest schnoz.
Yeah,
and,
we need to do this.
Wait, am I in this or no?
No, you have
No.
a pretty normal sized schnoz. Yeah, you guys get
a
good look at
can I
my,
weigh my
nose.
input?
Yeah.
Jesse, you needed to back out a little bit. There was none of you. Well, I guess it's full screen. Never mind. I'm stupid.
What are you talking about?
We did the best we could. We did the best we could.
You guys use that information that listen to this. I'm going to make a poll for this episode. I want you guys to vote on who has the biggest schnoz, and whoever does gets the biggest amount of brownie points for the next coming episodes.
Well,
And in private, we'll make fun of whoever wins because they'll have the voted on biggest nose.
And was it this episode or last episode that the camera just went right up my nose?
I think it was this one.
Because whatever episode that was, I definitely have the biggest nostrils. That's for sure.
Yeah, you got way more protruding nostrils than I do.
Yeah.
We'll have to save that poll, the results of the poll, for my episode. That way it's more fair, because if not, then it's just going to be Matt judging. And he might have more brownie points.
I'm going to take the information from the poll when I'm host next episode and be like, this is bogus. Whatever.
Now, Matt, I will when we post this poll, you'll be able to vote and I'll be able to vote. I'm going to vote for my nose. You vote for your nose. And we'll get a baseline. Alex, it's up to you. And then anyone else.
This poll is for who has the biggest nose, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this is like a good thing. But
yeah,
probably
no.
I don't think so.
No.
Actually,
The answer is no.
I was like,
tell me
where in any
right
of that
now?
it's a good thing. What else?
It took us 5
I would like
episodes
to put in.
to
I would
zoom
like to
in.
say this: Jesse has more of a girthy nose, while Matt has more of a bigger, longer nose.
I
think mine's longer and his is girthier. Do you see the absolute bell on the end of his nose? I'm as close up as he is, and his is rounder. No, he's got a wider bridge. Mine's thinner.
I have a better shape.
Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe
you cannot be more wrong, buddy. It's literally
possibly the lighting.
His is round and then it looks like a keyhole. His looks like a keyhole. Mine's more like it's more straight down.
Remember, it was 2 years ago, I sent you guys that biggest nose competition, and that one guy, his fucking nose was this wide, and it stuck out like that fucking far.
It looked like a witch in a movie.
I never felt
it was
so
like
good
cartoon
about my
dwarf.
nose.
Yeah.
I had always been self-conscious about how big my fucking nose was, and then I seen that, and I'm like, I guess
don't feel
it
so
could
bad
be
anymore.
worse. I guess it could be worse.
So everyone look out for that poll. It'll be below in the show notes of this episode. Vote who has the biggest schnoz.
You know what having a big nose means? Big
big feet. Oh,
big boogies.
I was gonna say big feet, but yeah, that works too. We'll have the results posted, and we'll talk about it on the next week's episode when the poll's over. So I know you guys will be eager to hear the results for that one.
All 5 votes.
Everyone, make sure you and your mama vote for this freaking poll, or else.
Yeah, or else.
Yeah.
And guys, spread the word. I mean, right now we're kind of smaller at the moment, but with your help, just spreading the word, liking, sharing as much as you can, we could possibly be able to increase the size of our platform right now, and hopefully reach out to more people to show us this conglomerate that we call a show.
Yeah, help us help you.
Exactly.
Yeah, what they said.
In that note, this we're wrapping it all up here. Like I said, everything Alex just said. Make sure you take a mental note of that and vote for that poll, and we'll have the results next week. Wherever you're watching from, whatever time zone you're in, if you're on the moon and Mars, Guadalcanal, wherever you're at in the world, we hope you have a good day, morning, evening, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
Pan out.
Pan
Pan
out.
out.